Welcome everyone to the CUPID Pokemon Draft League Week 4. It's been a long time coming, but we finally got the matches done and I have finally had time to record these. So, if you are here from the most recent Skull Servant based content over on the YouTube side, welcome in. You're the best kind of viewer checking out my other content. I very much appreciate you for being here. And for those of you who are in the Draft League and are wondering where the recap was, if you guys already forgotten, we had a drop, someone who, was watching the recaps and is very offended over me making objectively correct statements about the matches. So, I'm sorry for that. But I do have a word of advice for anyone who may be watching. Don't tell someone who's over 20 times your size how to run their content. Thank you. All right, so we have a set of matches today from the week 4. We have week 4's matches. We're gonna go ahead and recap all of these games, point out any plays as we usually do, and then we will go ahead and that's basically it, So here we go. First match we have is Frank the Wolf versus XCTL. Now there was a match that was played before this. Snow Mercury ended up being defeated by, Shadow King, and then promptly dropped out of, fear, I guess, of the recap. So, we're not going to recover we're not going to cover that match, but that is what happened. So, we are going to go ahead and just get started. So first up, we've got Frank the Wolf versus X Control. So here we go. We have led with the big threat, Ice Beam, the Pokemon. And Iron Bundle is going to let off a powerful Ice Beam, and then Electric Surge is going to come in. We're going to miss Stone Edge. I guess we wanted to go for Stone Edge, trying to catch this Coco, perhaps. But at that point, you probably still want to take the chip from the close combat, I imagine. It is a lot of damage, but it's fine. We have a Nidoqueen as, tragically for us, this bundle comes in, and this time we get Freeze Dried on the switch because we've made the exact same switch twice in a row, becoming predictable. You want to avoid that. Anyways, bundle is faster than your whole team and has Freeze Dry. Where are your Pokemon that beat this? We go into Audino to hopefully survive. Maybe we clicked Flamethrower, we used Wish, okay. We're gonna go into Darkrai here, which is very dangerous, but it's okay. We do successfully get the Darkrai up to full HP, but there's 3 turns left of this electric terrain. Darkrai is slower than this thing, and we gotta get out of there. So we're gonna go into Audino. That being said, Moonblast still does solid chip, but, we can get off, like, an attack here. We can maybe go for, like, a Flamethrower, but instead we keep going for Wish, as the opponent goes for Swords Dance. Luckily for us, we decide to Toxic Poison, so, maybe we have a chance here. But tragically, we're gonna get bonked. So here comes Ivy Cudgel, the Fire-type bonk, and that's going to kill Nidoqueen. And now the rest of these Pokemon definitely don't survive. Low kicks with the first impression. Terra Bug, are we Choice Banded? Well, it didn't matter, I don't think, because we just cleanly knock out the Hearth Flame there. Very good for Frank the Wolf not getting 6-0 this game. Congratulations. And now we're going to get Ice Beamed by this absolute menace to society known as Iron Bundle. But we do have Wish Protect. Great news. So now we can heal. But I don't think this is still a winning exchange for us, because eventually we will run out of wishes. So Iron Treads comes in to use knockoff on the fairy. That isn't going to switch, and we use Toxic on the Iron Treads, which is a Steel type, and thus is immune to being poisoned. So now we're going to go into our Specs Darkrai and lose our Specs. So we can miss a Focus Blast and then promptly get Volt switched out on. And this is basically a foregone conclusion at this point. Tapu Koko will come in. Most likely will be faster. And, well, there's U-turn. That's good. Okay, so now Iron Bundle is back. It's using Hydro Pump. But Hydro Pump has a chance to miss. We get off another Wish. Okay. Hold on. Audino unkillable. We can use Toxic here. Audino unkillable. Oh, Terra Poison. Never mind. We cannot use Toxic. But we used Wish anyway. Stealth Rocks go up. I don't think that really does anything here, but that's fine. I mean, like, you know, it doesn't need to do anything, I guess. We're gonna Wish Pass into the Darkrai. Okay, maybe Darkrai has, like, Nasty Plot and his choice specs. Or maybe we went for Sludge Bomb on the Switch. Nope, Dark Pulse times 4 resisted does nothing to Iron Valiant. Audino comes back. Muted my mic to cough there. And here comes Calm Mind, but we do have Toxic. Did we use it? Did we use Toxic? Yep, okay, that's another Pokemon getting Toxic poisoned. Okay, maybe this Audino solos. Who knows? Audino might win this game. Takes half from Moonblast. Alright, so now all we have to do is Wish Protect again. And there it is. Look at that big chip. Oh no, big prediction. Does this Audino have an attack, by the way? I'm not sure. Have we seen, like, an attack? No, we've only seen Wish Protect and Toxic. Well, after another Calm Mind, we get some more chip off on the Audino as it's going to Protect on the Switch. And now the Audino is at 87%, and we decided to keep our Valiant alive. Audino, unironically, could make this comeback, but Iron Treads comes in to stop the Audino because, you know, it's immune to Toxic. So we have Earthquake, which is good. You know, we're getting this chip off into this Audino, and for some reason Frank the Wolf clicks Toxic again. Despite the fact that we have already seen more than once that the word immune pops up when you click Toxic on an Iron Treads. But I guess Frank doesn't know how to read, so we're gonna just continue using Wish and Protect. Maybe eventually we will run out of, you know, Earthquakes. And, you know, or we could start using Flamethrower or like an attack or, you know, do something. Right now, I don't know if you've seen the meme of the guy with the stick and he's like, come on, do something. That's how I feel right now, you know? Anyways, Cradilly comes back in, but we've seen that this Cradilly cannot defeat the Audino. But we're gonna stay in with Darkrai and lose our Darkrai anyway. I don't really agree with this play by Frank, but it's okay. And now he's probably going to go into low kicks because that's the incorrect play. Yep, okay, good prediction by me. I outplayed Frank outside of game, but it's okay because first impression is going to do good chip there. And now the bundle is back, and now we go into Audino, and the bundle gets to get off a free pump, but we actually use Ice Beam instead. So Ice Beam, unless it freezes here, is not going to be doing enough. But we are eventually going to run out of wishes. I mean, we only have 2 left, so, you know, what do we do now? Are we going to wish? Are we going to wish? Aw, we get frozen. It's over. It's Jover. It's Jover, as the kids say. And Frank the Wolf is defeated in game 1. That took way longer than it needed to, I think, but, you know, it's fine. Low Kicks is going to come back in, click first impression, and promptly die. Yep. Okay, we sack the Iron Valiant, and Frank is able to get off 3 Pokemon there. Pretty impressive run, honestly. First impression only works on your first turn out. Okay, Frank, good. You figured it out. First impression only works that first turn. And, yeah, we are going to promptly be defeated in game 1. Maybe game 2 things will go a little bit different. Maybe we will use the Audino more effectively and stop clicking Toxic on Iron Treads. Alright, so Low Kicks is going to do its thing. Terra Bug, first impression. Crit! And Oko the Valiant. I did not expect that to just kill. But now we're going to go into Urshifu as Hearthstone uses Swords Dance. And uh-oh, we're not Scarfed. We lose our Pokemon to Power Whip. And we probably here should have gone into Low Kicks and just clicked first impression. But we instead decided to lose Audino, which was our MVP for the last game, and now we go into Low Kicks and click first impression. Now, the decision-making there is clearly not the best, but it's fine because we can sacrifice our whole Nidoqueen on a Pokemon that has Ice and Water-type stats. And now Low Kicks can first impression the Iron Valiant as it comes in. Alright, now we have to sacrifice our whole Darkrai to the Iron Valiant. Okay, great. Moonblast, very strong, very powerful move. All of our Pokemon are weak to Fairy. So Low Kicks is going to come back in and probably click first impression again. And that just Oko's Tapu Koko. That's pretty impressive. That's a lot of damage. This thing's got to be choice banded, but now you have to sack Latios. Guess what? You do not have enough sacks to win this game. Because I assume that this is choice banded Terrabug, first impression, get off the goob damage, and then die the low kicks, right? And yeah, we're probably just locked in here, and if not, we're slower, and yeah, there is the death. Low kicks is absolutely carrying Frank the Wolf right now, but tragically he does not know how to play his sacks correctly, and loses this battle. 2-0. Great. Next match, we have Mr. Titan T versus Kitsune. Fantastic stuff. Let's see it. So Kitsune leads with Rule 34, and Mr. Titan T leads with Freeze Dry and loses his Pokemon instantly as close combat is used. Very good. Now we have Landorus, who comes in to intimidate the silly website Pokemon, and it's gonna U-turn away. And now Lando is gonna polish the rock so it can sweep you like I missed a white. Earthquake knocking out that Regieleki there. Garchomp comes in. Swords Dance used. Okay, we're on Double Dance. We missed Scale Shot. Ouch. Earthquake now gonna knock out the Garchomp. As a result, we gotta go for like Fake Out into like Triple Axle or something, but we're gonna be slower after the polish, so we're probably just cooked here. We go into Pecharunt. Pecharunt will be perishing to this Earthquake. Maybe Floor just lives. We could have gone back into, into Lopunny for more Fake Out chip, but tragically, yeah, no, we got off the Double Dance, and Floor just didn't survive Earthquake anyway. Confirmed. Alright, Landorus very strong. Who would have suspected? Pokemon with base 145 physical attack is strong. Whoa. Well, my own lack of understanding Landorus aside, sometimes you just get off the goob dance and then you goob all over your opponent. Anyways, this time we're leading Garchomp, and Mr. Titan T goes with Metagross Fairy, which is Terra Ground, as we just simply use a Swords Dance anyway. And, well, guess what? Agility is the response, and it has Ice Punch. So we lose our Garchomp there. Not what you want to see if you're Kitsune. Kitsune is going to Fake Out to get the chip. Big crit there. Big crit chip. Big chippy crit. And now we have to go into Pecharunt, as Psychic Fangs is the usage here. Pecharunt tragically is not going to be able to eat these up like a feast. So no Mochi dancing on our opponent this time. But it's okay. We have Florges. Florges probably takes 2 moves, right? But we don't... Are we heavy-duty boots? I think we're boots, because we are not healing for leftovers right now. And after the Terra Ground, those Earthquakes will 2-hit KO. We go back into the Lopunny to get more chip damage with Fake Out, but tragically for us, this is just not enough. And this Metagross is maybe faster than the Alecki. Alecki goes boom. Okay, well, we might have been able to do that a little bit earlier in the battle, but it's okay. We have Jirachi to desire the doom of this Quaquaval, which is pretty good. Now we're going to protect so we don't instantly just die to knockoff, but close combat was the usage instead. And now Glowking comes in on Wish. Doom Desire hits Glowking for about half. It's got Black Sludge. We're going to Doom Desire again. Chilly out from Mr. Titan T. We're going to bring in the Landorus to dance on him. We're dancing on him for real. But tragically for Mr. Titan T, apparently we have no moves that beat Jirachi, as it's just going to click Wish again. Maybe we were predicting a double switch, I'm not entirely sure. Jirachi's now going to U-turn as the Glowking goes for Future Sight. Your girl looking like she want to go, and the Doom Desire is going to connect into the Glowking. Quaquaval comes in. This is not something that wants to survive attacks from this Lopunny, that's for sure. 2 returns will do it, but I think Lopunny dies this turn to Future Sight. Uh-oh. And now we have a Jirachi versus a Landorus Therian. We probably can figure out where this one is going. There it is. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure of the Alecki Explosion Calc on Metagross, but we might have wanted to go into that a little bit sooner. But it's okay. You know, live and learn, right? Mr. Titan T is going to win the match 2-0. Next up, we have Ingle versus Ryevchi, a certified Hood classic. Alright, so we have Volcanion against Nihilego into Thunderwave, into 2 layers of Toxic Spikes, as we missed, and the Nihilego is on Hex, and this Volcanion isn't doing anything. Ingle has decided to give up on using this Volcanion to defeat this Nihilego, and now we have another Thunder Wave, but we're gonna get up rocks for it though. T-Spike, Toxic, because that's a poison type, it's immune. That's usually how poison types do. And now we're gonna just go for Chip. We Seismic Toss the Nihilego. And we go back into Volcanion, presumably to click Defog, after setting up our own rocks. But we're paralyzed, so now we have to deal with these Toxic Spikes and these rocks permanently. But for whatever reason, Ryevchi feels bad for him and decides to go for Thunder Wave again. So we get off a Steam Eruption instead of a Defog, interesting choice. You know, because now there's Toxic Spikes and Stealth Rocks up. So me personally, I would have maybe used a different move, because our Volcanion's basically dead now. Anyways, Enamorous is finally going to come in. It takes Stealth Rock damage, which means it is not Heavy Duty Boots, and this Volcanion is Heavy Duty Boots. The opponent uses Tailwind, we use Defog. Goodbye, Hazards. And honestly, Ingle got away with that one pretty well, I won't lie. However, now Enamorous is using Calm Mind, and, well, we do have this Blissey in the back to survive those. And honestly, why are we not clicking Seismic Toss? Why are we not Seismic Tossing 3 times and killing this thing? Like, why are we letting him paralyze and fucking get off the Hex Goop chip on this Mr. Ryan? Well, apparently Ingle was playing 5D chess and Ryevchi was playing checkers, as Ingle has decided to set up Trick Room, and now that Ryevchi has paralyzed half of Ingle's team is faster. But, you know, paralysis gives us a chance to just not play for a turn. And now we slack off, which is psychopathic. I don't know why we would ever choose to heal in front of the Pokemon that we have seen is on Hex. And now we could decide to go into Blissey. Okay, great. Blissey is going to do Blissey things. And we're probably going to get the Seismic Tosses off that we could have done the last time I said we should click Seismic Toss. But no, instead we're going to click Toxic on the Poison type. That's probably just going to stay in and click Stealth Rocks and Toxic Spikes again, because, you know, that's what a logical player would do. But for whatever reason, Ryevchi decided to click Hex twice, thinking that Ingle was probably going to switch for no reason. Which, fun fact, I kind of expected, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, here's Tail Glow, and Ultra Beast Ultra Boost is gonna Mr. Boost on your ass, and now we're cooked. But tragically, Make It Rain is gonna connect, but since it's an electric type, we actually resist those. Now, for some reason, we click a grass type move against a steel type instead of an electric type move, which is same type attack boosted. Couldn't tell you why. But we're going to continue clicking Energy Ball for no reason. Now Goldengo is going to come back in to Make It Rain again, but actually this time we make the correct play and use the move that is not resisted. And we pick up the KO. Now we have, Ceaseless Edge, as we really want to put up our hazards again, even though we completely decided just not to with Nihilego after the first time. But luckily for us, Ingle is trying to set up curses, thinking that that will win him the game. Tragically, that's not how it works, as Aqua Cutter is going to kill you when you are, in fact, a rock type in front of a water type. Next up is Sacred Sword, easily predicting Ingle's Terra Dark, because that's what a normal person would do in this situation, right? And now we're going to Aqua Cutter on the switch, because Aqua Cutter kills the remainder of Ingle's Pokemon. And Ryevchi will get game 1 here. Actually, Blissey might win, but it doesn't win this fight. Oh, we have Sacred Sword. Okay. Cool. Nice. We got off Toxic. Big Toxic Chippy. Very good. Okay, goodbye, Blissey. Alright, and Ryevji gets game 1 here. Now, game 2. Will we have 45 plays of just doing nothing? I'm not sure. Probably. I give it about a 50% chance. Ryevji leads Centiskorch this time, because I guess we just decided that our Pokemon aren't very good. So we need to play bad Pokemon to make our good Pokemon feel better. And we tried to use Will-O-Wisp on this incoming Garganacci, which is ×4 super effective against our Centiskorch. So I feel like that's an easy enough prediction to make. This time, Jingle goes for Iron Defense to defend his Iron, but tragically, you know, we already saw that this thing had, you know, fucking Energy Ball, so, like, why didn't we prepare for that? Anyways, after a Tail Glow, we're gonna do over half to a Blissey with an Electric-type attack. That is a special move. Very impressive stuff. And now we're gonna sacrifice our whole Garganacci for Toxic. Is this a good trade? I mean, with Toxic and Salt Cure up, this thing will be perishing, like, next turn, but Ryevji is smoking crack and has a Salac Berry, and he decides to use Protect to lose his Xurkitree anyway. Insane! Insane! Alright, so anyways, here's our bad Pokemon coming back in, as, you know, Volcanion comes in to ×4 resist your stupid moves and use a Water-type move to kill your stupid Fire-type. And now Enamorus is going to come in and also promptly eat a Steam Eruption and nearly perish in one hit. We use Earth Power, that's cool. But she didn't kill me, though. And now we have a KO from the Volcanion, and Ryevji is going to go into Nihilego, and that will actually do enough to finish off the Volcanion. Now Nihilego is at +1, and we are going to set up Thunder Wave because, you know, why not? What's Mr. Rhyme going to do to you? And now Thunder Wave plus Hex is going to kind of shred this thing, as Freeze Dry does nothing, and, you know, this thing is weak to Psychic-type attacks. So why would we click one of those? Now we are going to lose our entire Mr. Rhyme. Superior is the answer, and if this thing is packing a Poison-type move, this game pretty much is over here. Instead, we go for Thunder Wave. I mean, okay, sure. I don't dislike it, I guess. So a couple of Leaf Storms are going to go up, but Nihilego does, in fact, actually have some solid special defense, especially being that it is at +2, and Ryevji is using a specially defensive Nihilego with Hex. And now Blissey is in, and we've decided to go for Toxic Spikes against the paralyzed... we've decided to go for Toxic Spikes against the paralyzed Superior and the Steel type. Nice! Good! Very good! And then we paralyze the Blissey. Fantastic. Okay, so now after all that, we decided to go into, you know, the Mega Venusaur because, you know, Blissey's not really going to hurt us. Giga Drain does basically nothing, honestly. And if we had Leech Seed, that would probably have been a more effective click for us. Now we're going to decide to go for Toxic into 2 paralyzed Pokemon and a Steel type. Good decision making. Now we're going to use Synthesis to heal, as Ingle literally just has to keep clicking Seismic Toss. There's literally nothing else that he has to do. And all that damage that we did to this Blissey is gone now, thanks to the power of Leftovers. Incredible stuff. Now we've decided to go into Goldango and show Ryevji that this thing is in fact a Steel type. But luckily for us, Ryevji has decided to predict that this is a Steel type and use Earth Power. And since we used Earth Power, the second Earth Power will do enough to KO. Now Ingle probably should have just gone into the Blissey and clicked Seismic Toss, but tragically for us, we go into Superior, we get paralyzed, and we use a ×4 resistant attack to promptly die to 2 copies of Earth Power. I mean, at least you could have used Leaf Storm. At least you could have used Leaf Storm. Anyways, Blissey comes in and gets Toxic Poison because, you know, we switched out with Natural Cure after getting paralyzed. And we probably never needed to do that in the first place. And now we are going to lose to the Samurott in the back. Fantastic stuff. Ryevji is going to get Game 2 and defeat Jingle 2-0. Fantastic. We really accomplished great things with this match. Into the next game we go. We have Ant Killer versus Mocha Pudding. The Iron Hands are being thrown. We lead Pelipper. Ant Killer now with basically Mono Water, but also Tornadus. So this is Mono Lose to Freeze Dry. As our Pokemon, we have 3 of them that are ×4 weak to Freeze Dry. But tragically for Mocha Pudding, it does not seem like there are any Pokemon that learn Freeze Dry on that draft. Alright, so after the lead, we have the rain up, and we have, Mandibuzz versus a Talonflame situation after some pivoting around with things like Flip Turn and U-Turn and also Volt Switch and all of that good stuff. We go into the hands to throw them, and we are just, bold-faced, you're not going to use a flying move, as I'm going to click Ice Punch into your Pokemon. I guess we were preemptively trying to hit the Swampert, which does not take ×4 super effective damage from Ice Punch, only Freeze Dry. At that point, we probably were better off just clicking something along the lines of Thunder Punch, but it's okay. Now Basculegion is into rain on Mocha's Parade, but we do have a whole Gastrodon, the defeater of all Pokemon that are water types. So that's good. Basculegion goes for a couple of Shadow Balls. This is probably like a Specs Basculegion or something with like adaptability. And this is probably just an AV Iron Hands. And it's going to punch the thing, and the thing will die. And it's going to punch this Pelipper too. Oh, never mind, we Volt Switched. I would have punched it, personally. But now we go into a large threat, Mega Diancie. We get off a Power Gem. Interesting choice instead of Diamond Storm there. Diamond Storm to get the defense boost could have been really strong, but we still died to Swampert anyway. So now we go into our Mandibuzz, and we soak up that Earthquake. Good stuff. Now we get liquidated for half of our life savings, and Foul Play is going to be able to finish off the Pert. And Mocha is poised to get a 6-0 here. But now we have decided to sack our hands that are iron, as the Greninja will probably become Battle Bond Greninja. And it is Life Orb Battle Bond Greninja as well. But here comes Dragapult, which is Scarf and has Thunder. What a spicy tech. What a spicy tech to counter the Battle Bond Greninja. Scarf, Thunder, Dragapult, and that looks like AV damage on the Tornadus. That's crazy. So Tornadus is able to survive the Thunder due to AV, but at this point the Dragapult is, I think, faster than everything. But now there's a chance that we miss, since the rain is gone. But we do not miss. Draco's strongest, and Mocha Pudding comes away with a 5-0 in Game 1. Looking like a solid performance this far. Alright, Game 2, same teams this time. This time we're leading the Dragapult. It's going to use U-Turn to get off some chip. We're going to go into the Diancie. Diancie takes non-existent damage from Knockoff, and we are going to Mega Evolve as this Tornadus is U-turning away from us. But if we went for Rock Polish and we were packing something like Energy Ball, this Diancie could even beat Rain. But after that big chippy chip, Swampert has to run away, and now Power Gem into the switch. Get rid of that foolish amphibian incoming, known as Pelipper. And now we go into our Pokemon that has Foul Play. But we get the defense drop on the switch, which means now he can't stay in. Now Shaman's going to come and use probably a Grass-type move. But it also gets defense dropped by Liquidation, so we're going to lose Shaman to Knockoff. And Dragapult is going to come in and be faster now, and we are going to knock out the Pert. We've unlurked the Pert to shoot our Gert. Anyways, here's Dracovish to use Vicious Rend, but we have Storm Drain in the back. Very good. Now Vicious Rend has to leave. Very strong stuff. We use Ice Beam into the Tornadus. That is definitely an AV Tornadus. And it's got Hidden Power Grass, but we're Rindo Berry, which is insane. But that's okay. We get up our rocks in response, and we are going to take 7% on our Iron Hands because, Assault Vest strongest. Now we're going to U-turn into Dracovish, absorbing the powerful punches, but we actually Volt Switch out here. Okay, that's fair. We're going to put the Gastrodon back in, but since we did not wait until Antkiller locked into Vicious Rend, we can actually take damage from the Dracovish. Sure, it's not Vicious Rend damage, but it is taking damage. Now we decide to go into Basket Legion, and since our Pelipper is dead, our rain chances are looking very, very slim. We do wish to have rain at all times, but now we can never have rain again, thanks to Pelipper being dead. So Thunder Punch is going to knock out the Basket Legion. Thunder Punch will very likely knock out the Greninja. We decide to go for Drain Punch there as well to even, you know, make it even worse for Antkiller, healing up the Iron Hands. And now, here, guess what? Vicious Rend? Nah, you know what? I have this in the back. And, yeah, Psychic Fangs isn't gonna do it here. And we have a double into Mandibuzz, okay? Well, Bleak Wind's gonna hit the Mandibuzz. Okay, well, you turn out. Iron Hands comes back, probably to punch us. Bleak Wind connects, doesn't do anything, and we die to Thunder Punch. And Gastrodon should beat Dracovish one-on-one, regardless of what it locks into. Iron Head, interesting. I don't know why we would use Iron Head on the Mega Diancie instead of Vicious Rend, but that's okay. I imagine that that's what that prep is for, and yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. Anyways, Mocha Pudding gets the double 5-0, very good. So weather in draft isn't very good, and I usually try to tell the people in the league that weather is not very good, because when you can prepare for it and knock out the Pokemon that sets the weather, the rest of your team kind of crumbles, and we very much just saw an example of that there. Next up, we have Spirit versus Rudes. Rudes known as live Ting-Lu reaction, and he has a Melmetal. How long has he had this Melmetal? Because I feel like this is like the first time we've seen it. Anyways, Ting-Lu is going to unlu after getting burned by the Rotom, and Rotom is just going to defog off those rocks. Now Flood of Mane comes in as we go for Mega Evolve into Calm Mind, but still die to Flutter Mane. Oh, but we lived. Oh, but we lived. And we get off a Shadow Ball that doesn't even kill the Flutter Mane back, but we get the special defense drop. Let's go. Ting-Lu's coming in on Moonblast. I don't know why we would do this, but it's okay. Ting-Lu does not need help. It definitely has recovery moves, right? And now we decide to go into Melmetal to also take a Moonblast. Rotom comes in to get Bash, Bash, Bashed. And times 4 resisted still does like 25% thanks to crit. We get off another Will-O-Wisp burn, and we go for Superpower to do non-existent damage, especially after this burn. And yeah, this is not what you want to be if you're a Roots fan. Now Charizard is in to set up the sun, but tragically we also switched into Zapdos to say, hey Charizard, stop it, right? Now we have Terra Dark Clodsire. We get our Hurricane hit Confusion, very good. So now we have Stealth Rocks as, you know, Defog is used, and I think we're just going for it. We now Volt Switch out on the Dark type, very good stuff. And we bring in Ting-Lu to die. Stealth Rocks go up, and then we're gonna put up our Stealth Rocks and then die, right? No, we actually go for Rest. Okay, so Ting-Lu is on Rest. Interesting choice. But now Charizard is Mega Evolved and Weather Ball, plus maybe a Solar Beam in the back, perhaps. We could be on Solar Beam. We decided to go Flutterbane here, get the Sun Speed boost, okay. Well, now we have nothing that's faster than this. We're Rest Talking. Okay, so we're Rest Talk with Stealth Rock. I like having 1 in 3s to actually accomplish something while I'm asleep. Yeah, then that's pretty good, you know. I really like putting up the second layer of Stealth Rocks, actually. I think that's got to be my favorite gender. So now that the rocks are up, you know, Fluttermane has to, you know, escape. And we go for Darkest Lariat onto the switch into Rotom. Now, what did this accomplish? I mean, not much, as the rocks are just going to go away now, and here comes Zapdos to use Hurricane on an electric type. You know, we like using moves that the electric types resist. This is the week to do that, apparently. We've seen it happen a couple of times already. Alomomola comes out to get Volt switched on and nearly perish as a result. Kartana is going to come in to once again cut a useless object again. Sword Stance is used. This might even be a speed boosting Kartana. Leaf Blade gets the KO on Olomomola, and it is in fact speed boosting. Great. Now Chen Pao comes in. Live Chen Pao reaction. Uses Ice Shard, does not do any damage, dies to Sacred Sword. And is this Kartana getting off the Goob Nut? Is this Kartana getting off the Goob Nut? Knockoff, get the KO, the Zapdos. Ting-Lu gonna come in. Ting-Lu gonna die to Leaf Blade. Okay. Kartana. 3% Latios. Kartana getting off the Goob Nut, as we can see. And there's Melmetal, which is going to also die to Sacred Sword. And Spirit gets 6-0 in game 1 as Kartana gets the Goob Nut off all over Roots, and you don't want to be there. You don't want to be on the other side of the Goob Nut. Next up, we've got Fluttermane versus Latios. We've already seen how this one goes. Root's going to get out of there. And Moonblast chip on this Melmetal. Alright, now Melmetal got to get out of there, but we use Thunder Punch on the switch to Rotom. Okay, so this is like Max Fizdef Rotom, for sure. In comes Ting-Lu, presumably to click moves that don't make any sense, like Rest, Sleep Talk, and Stealth Rock, all in the same Pokemon. But now Charizard is in to prevent us from, taking half of our HP from Stealth Rocks. Because this Charizard has to be the Mega Evolution. So, now we're going to Calm Mind. As, Terra Dark Clodsire is used, we use Luster Purge. Forgetting that the Clodsire was Terra Dark from last game. Like that, we get Poison Jabbed on our Zapdos to use Defog. And surely Static Paralyze, right? And surely Static Paralyze, right? Okay, so now here's Toxapex, which did not make an appearance last game. Now Toxapex is presumably going to do what it does. Click Toxic, and then Scald, and then take damage, and then click Recover, and then click Recover. Oh, but we have Scorching Sands. That is solid shit. Okay. So now Toxapex is taking more damage than it recovers from Regenerator. But tragically for us, it also has Recover to just recover normally. And this Charizard will die. And if this Toxapex stays in, we can possibly get off a Toxic, but we actually get the Scald Burn here, nullifying the leftovers, but actually that Scald Burn really sucks for Roots. You wanted to get this Rotom Toxic poisoned if you could. But luckily for us, we make a good read. We get into Ting-Lu against the Rotom in the Sun, and this Rotom's probably going to just have to switch. Yeah. So now Roaring Moon comes in, which is the opposite of Silent Sun, as Roots goes for, Stealth Rocks. And now Knockoff is used to get rid of the leftovers. Great. Earthquake does 21%. Would have been 42% if we were not burned, and we are just letting it set up. Why are we letting the Roaring Moon set up? Why are we letting the Roaring Moon set up? Why are we using Sleep Talk while awake? Did Roots give up? I think he gave up. This looks like a I give up situation. He forgot how to play Pokemon. Alright, so now Toxapex is going to be able to get off Toxic. Great. This means we do not instantly lose to the Pokemon in front of us. Okay, but Knockoff is used into the Zapdos. Okay. Well, this is not great for Roots. Does the Zapdos run Protect? It does not. We decide to go into our Latios as Knockoff is used to knock out our Latios. Now we should probably sacrifice something, or just go into Chen Pao and click Ice Shard. But instead we decide to go into Zapdos, which has lost its heavy-duty boots so it can die. And then we get off an Earthquake into the Melmetal, but, why would we use a priority Ice-type move on a Dragon-type? Why would we do that? Anyways, now that our whole team is dead, Roots can, rest easy knowing that he has been defeated by Spirit. As once again, this Kartana is cutting a useless object again. And again, the Goop Nut is achieved by Kartana. Ice Shard crit. Wow, we even had Ice Shard. Why didn't we just use that on the Roaring? Oh well, whatever. Kartana got off the double Goop Nut, and that's not what you want to see in any situation ever. Next up, we have our replacement match. As I did say, the person who dropped was promptly replaced, so let me introduce you to Alexi. Alexi is someone who has been a frequent member of Pokemon draft leagues that I ran before I branched off and started doing them with my own Twitch community. Alexi is someone that I used to hang out frequently with IRL, and now I kind of just don't hang out with anyone IRL anymore. That's not true, but a lot of the people I used to hang out with IRL don't, get to see me anymore because I don't really get out as much. Being a content creator and a streamer kind of takes those things away from you on top of having a full-time job. Anyways, Alexi was able to take over, the team that was double weather and just not generally very good. And he has changed things up, as you can see here. Shadow King is still Shadow King, so let's see what we got. So we lead Glamora into the Ogre Pone. Ogre Pone gonna bonk us, probably. But we actually decide to go for Landorus instead to prevent the Glamora from getting up its toxic spikes. But tragically, Stealth Rocks go up and we get poisoned by Mortal Spin, which is not what you want to see, but it's okay because we can U-turn out with our Landorus and get up a layer of toxic spikes on our side of the field anyway. And our Tapu Fini gets poisoned by toxic spikes before the Misty Surge goes up, which is very unfortunate, but that is how that interaction works. Next, we have Banette to use Poltergeist and do a lot of damage, 57%. And Tapu Fini went for Calm Mind, and that's yikes, because now we're just dead to Shadow Sneak. Alright, so now what do? We go into Bronzong. This does not learn Rapid Spin, but we can Terra Dark, so we are resisting Poltergeist. Very good. We get Steel Roller off to get rid of our terrain. Okay. Now Destiny Bond is used as Stealth Rocks go up, because Steel Roller, I think, fails without the terrain, right? Shadow Sneak, Gyro Ball, okay, but Mega Banette's kind of slow. So now we're going to have a Poltergeist, and this was probably the turn to Destiny Bond. But we actually have a 50-50 here. Darks are immune to Prankster moves because, we Terra Darked, and we decide to use Body Press on a Ghost type. Now, I don't know if that's Alexi trying to predict him or anything, but we decide to do it again because, killing our Pokemon isn't a good idea. So, yeah, now we get off the Gyro Ball. We probably... I guess this is a fair exchange for Alexi. The Bronzong survives, and we can force the defense drop on the Tauros, except for the fact that Tauros could have killed us with Aqua Jet at that point. Now Ninetales comes in to use Snow Warning and promptly die, but for whatever reason, Shadow King is very scared of the move Freeze Dry, perhaps learning from past experience. Now we have Torterra with Sludge Bomb, which is the equivalent of, oh, surprise, it wasn't actually Torterra, it was Zoroark. And Zoroark will kill us with the Sludge Bombs. But now Alexi has the power to go into his fast offensive Pokemon in the back. We are going to U-turn out of this Ogre Pond into Blaziken. Alright, so this is going to invite back in that Tauros that we've already seen. But for whatever reason, we decide to go Charizard. Now Blaziken Mega Evolves and clicks Bulk Up, as opposed to Swords Dance. For some reason, I guess we really want that defense boost. And we are clicking Blaze Kick into a Charizard. Charizard's using Earthquake after a Dragon Dance. And We now go for close combat, which actually KOs the Charizard. Fantastic stuff. I guess this was all part of Alexi's plan of just, weaken it and then kill it. Now we can get off another close combat, but just kidding, Aqua Jet still exists. Alright, how do we defeat this Tauros? We have Ogerpon, we have Ivy Cudgel. Where are the Pokemon that survived this? Spoiler alert, there are none. Just kidding, this is a full health Torterra, it probably lives. Terra Fairy, interesting choice. Yeah, so the Torterra survives, Shell smashes, and uh-oh, are we cooked? Is Alexi cooked? Is Alexi cooked? Rock Blast, gotta knock out the pawn. Okay. Bullet Seed knocks out this Landorus, in theory. But we use Rock Blast. And we just hit 4 times. We just hit 4 times. And we win the battle with the Torterra in the back. Good job for Shadow King. What about game 2? This time Shadow King opts to bring the King Gambit. And Lexi just leads the Landorus to use Earth Power. And this time the Glamora is not Sash. Not what you want to see for your turn 1 ever. We're going to just U-turn away, bring in the Tapu Fini to wall this thing into the next year. Wave Crash is used, fantastic stuff. Now Tapu Fini is going to, get off free Serps. So we use 1, and we just decide to let our Tapu Fini die promptly after to the Torterra. I mean, I guess we were predicting either... Well, no, the Zoroark's not there this time. I guess we were really just predicting him to go for something along the lines of a Shell Smash, but we didn't get that. So now Ninetales is going to be able to come in and die after Shell Smash and Rock Blast. Alright, so Loaded Dice Torterra absolutely doing a number on Alexi's draft. Here comes Blaziken to survive by using Protect and boosting its speed to where I believe we are faster now. Yep, Blaze Kick, gonna knock out the Torterra there. Good stuff. And Blaziken. Okay, so, Tauros comes in, Ogerpon's gonna be the response to that. Wave Crash, we've already seen this play out before. Bonk does kill. Shadow King will very likely be going into... Okay, I would have probably gone into King Gambit. Rock Tomb on the switch. Catches the Charizard, killing it instantly. And this is a Miracle Seed Ogerpon. We decide to U-turn out to not get Poltergeisted. And we go into Knuckle Stack, which is an Eviolite Pokemon, which takes 25% from Poltergeist. This gets Salt Cure, does it not? So we go for a Curse. Salt Cure is a pretty good move. Salt Cure is a pretty good... Well, we decide to switch. Fair play, I suppose. Ogerpon gonna come in. We're getting off another Crash. We are crashing, but no wave, because here comes Ivy Cudgel. Bonk. And now we are going to simply U-turn out. We missed our opportunity to Destiny Bond there, as Knuckle Stack comes back in to get intimidated, but now we have the thing in the back. Trailblaze is used to boost the speed of our Tauros, okay, but Salt Cure, and we did have Salt Cure, and this is going to start doing 24% to this Tauros every turn. We get close combated because Terra Stealing in front of a fighting type does in fact mean that you are still weak to fighting. But now we have, Blaziken in the back, we have Landorus in the back, we have, Ogerpon in the back, we have many things in the back. We decide to opt for Blaziken, which is our Pokemon that we need to survive so it can knock out the King Gambit. So now we decide to sack our Ogerpon into the Tauros, as Salt Cure is going to knock us out. And finally, here comes, I have 2 Pokemon that are super effective against King Gambit. And it's got 5 Fallen and Sucker Punch, but tragically, Landorus survives these. Earth Power is going to do massive damage. Sucker Punch is fine. Who cares? I don't. Here comes Blaziken, and I am probably surviving a Sucker Punch. So we are going to just click Close Combat and pick up the KO. Alexi is on the board. We're going into game 3. Alright, so this time the Tauros is the Fire-type Tauros. Spicy. Alright, so now we are going to lead with not Glamora, but we are still going to get Earth-powered by this lead Landorus, as Landorus is just going to kill us in exchange for us getting up Stealth Rocks. Is this a good trade? I mean, if Alexi was playing Defog like a normal person would, it would have been a very, very bad trade, but it's okay. Now here comes Torterra to Shell Smash on the Knackle Stackle, and we have Terra Fairy, and in response to Terra Fairy, we have Terra Grass, which is actually going to work out here, as Bullet Seed was the usage, and we are going to get Assault Cure off into this Torterra, getting off that good chip. Landorus comes in now. I don't know why we decided to keep our Knackle stack around, and we are going to lose our Landorus instead, but it's okay. Salt Cure chip. Does this have Protect? Nope, we just lose the Landorus. Alright, so Blaziken comes in, presumably to Mega Evolve and click Protect. Yep, there it is. Rock Blast, Torterra feints to Salt Cure, and okay, with the speed boost, this Mega Blaziken might be able to put in some work here. But we do have Glamora in response. Knackle Stackle will come in. Meteor Beam, Power Herb, Meteor Beam, goodbye, Knackle Stack. We have an offensive Glamora. Live offensive Glamora reaction, and Alexi has sacrificed both of his ground-type coverage moves. But it's okay, we'll just freeze with Blizzard. You know, we'll just freeze with Blizzard, it's fine, you know? And then we're going to get up Aurora Veil, and we're going to do all this extra unnecessary stuff that we really did not deserve, and we're going to even knock out with a crit Blizzard for good measure. Alright, now Tordeos the Fire kind comes in, and we have Psyshock on our Ninetales. Flare Blitz is the response, knocking out the Ninetales through the Aurora Veil and the Snow Defense boost. But tragically, there's Blaziken in the back to presumably not die to close combat. For whatever reason, we just have another Flare Blitz used, which, you know, if Alexi had been on, like, Bulk Up or something, Shadow King would have probably lost the battle to this immediately. But that's okay. We have Banette coming back in, getting the info on Blaziken's item. We use Blaze Kick. Poltergeist, I think, just kills us in response. It doesn't. Okay. Hold. Shadow Sneak gonna knock out the Blaziken, thanks to the defense drop from the close combat. Ogre Pawn gonna come in. Do we have a response to the King Gambit? We use Ivy Cudgel as Destiny Bond is revealed. Tapu Fini versus King Gambit. Who wins? King Gambit 5 Fallen or Tapu Fini? Who would win? Moonblast does 39%, Ironhead does 66%, Sucker Punch KOs. And Shadow King wins the match 2-1. Very good stuff. Congratulations, Shadow King. And finally, we have Bento versus Assassin. This match was like a whole week late. And this is why you guys had to wait so long for this recap. Because this match was like a whole week late. So let's get straight into it. Breloom, Blacephalon, Fire-type attack, Terra Fairy, Bulldoze. What the fuck? Why are we faster? Are we Scarf Bulldoze? Or is Bento bad? Who knows? I don't. Corviknight's now going to U-turn out of there as Weavile comes in on the Farigiraf. We're going to knock off, killing the Farigiraf instantly. In fact, you probably knocked off a whole family of Farigirafs there. Now Urshifu's going to come in and click Close Combat, and we're not even going to think to switch against the Dark Fighting type with our Pokemon that's timed 4 weak to fighting. You know, we're not even going to consider it. Now we're going to go into Latios to use Psychic as Torkoal comes in and takes a more billion damage from Psychic. And now, honestly, we're just going to click Psychic again as Breloom comes in. And now we're going to click Psychic again. Breloom's on Terra Blast with Terra Fairy, but tragically Breloom is still going to die to Psychic. Okay. Urshifu is back to be immune to Psychic and use Wicked Blow. And we have the Wicked Blowing Urshifu. Now, this is probably Scarfed. It is Scarfed. We've already seen that it is Scarfed based on it being faster than Weavile. But in response, we have Zeraora to knock out with Close Combat after Zeraora surprisingly survives the first Wicked Blow. Now Torkoal's going to reset up the Sun. We're going to Close Combat again, get off some chip, but not enough. And Torkoal does just have Earthquake, and it knocks us out. But we do have Swampert. Will we decide to go for Corviknight? Okay, luckily for us, Brave Bird kills. I guess we're not Fizz Death Torkoal. Sure enough, I suppose. But what about... Wait, why did we go Mamoswine here? Why did we go Mamo? We could have just gone into young, you know, Steam Eruption. We could have gone into the Walking Wake. I guess the idea is just flinch Bento until Corviknight is dead. But tragically, we only got off 2 of the flinches and we needed 5. So, yeah, this isn't going well for us. This is definitely not going well for us. We use Earthquake. I don't know why, predicting Bento to suddenly become faster and use Roost at full HP. Well, there's another Icicle Crash. Brave Bird, good chip. Mamoswine does just lose this, even with the Rocky Helmet and the, you know, Brave Bird recoil. But this time, Icicle Crash nearly kills us because our hubris knows no bounds. But tragically, you know, Leftovers is going to, you know, make sure that this doesn't happen again. Now we need to flinch him twice in a row. We don't. Roost goes through. We're going to heal up to full. And we are still beating this Mamoswine, which is Rocky Helmet, by the way. Because, you know, I guess it's lead Mamoswine. And we decided finally to use Heavy Slam as Corviknight is going to get off its last attack, probably. And for whatever reason, we decided to Heavy Slam because it's like the only move that does non-existent damage to Corviknight. But it's okay, we have Walking Wake in the back with Flamethrower, and here comes Swampert, as Walking Wake is probably Choice Specs and locked into Flamethrower. Bert's gonna get burned, we're Ice Punch Bert. Are we Assault Vest? Do we lose this because we're Assault Vest? Oh no. Oh no, why is this as close as it is? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. This needs to kill. It didn't kill. Alright, here we go. And we died. Incredible. Good job by Bento, honestly clicking Ice Punch that first turn for literally no reason. That really was the difference maker in this entire battle. You know, using Ice Punch and then deciding to use your stab move afterwards. I don't know why you decided to do that. I guess everyone just thinks that Ice is super effective against water and every move is Freeze Dry, because this is the second time we've seen it happen in this recap. Tragically, Ice Punch does not work that way. Anyways, next battle. Surely Bento will not get cooked by the Scarf Breloom this time. Farigiraf is the lead against Corviknight. Corviknight's going to get off the Goob chip with the U-turn, and then we go into Weavile as Farigiraf uses Trick Room. Alright, this essentially means that Weavile is the worst Pokemon in the game, and, well, it still survives Dazzling Gleam and knocks out the Farigiraf with Knock Off. Alright, so now we can get off a die, so we could totally switch into Corviknight instead, and not do that. Now we have Body Press from the Mamoswine, which is only good if you are on a high physical defense, which this Mamoswine clearly is not. So now we're going back to Icicle Crash. Again, we are crashing, but no wave. In fact, we are very, very preoccupied with crashing all over the place. Now, Trick Room's gone. Walking Wake is back. We're going to Brave Bird for Chip into the Wake, and Latias will be the response, as Flamethrower is used again. We do not make a preemptive move expecting the Corviknight to leave. Now Mamoswine's going to be able to come back in and die to Draco Meteor, so our Ice-type answer to this Latias is now dead, and we really only have Walking Wake for it in the back, except for Breloom, which we have already seen as Terra Fairy and Terra Blast, which we decided not to change from the last battle at all. We could have changed it, but why would we do that, right? So here's Torkoal to put up the sun again, as Brave Bird is a response to that, I guess. Now Torkoal probably has a Fire-type move, so we're gonna get out of there. We have a Pert, but we decided to go into Latias instead. Torkoal uses Shell Smash, which is not something you ever see Torkoals do. Very cool. Now what? I mean, Latias just drops a Draco because Torkoal is slow as shit and Torkoal dies. Good. Breloom is back. You know what else is back? My desire to live as this Latias stays in on the Terra Blast Breloom. And we go for Wish. And now we can probably Wish past the Corviknight. Yep, there it is. Alright, Walking Wake is, gonna lose its sun. There is no more sun for the remainder of the battle, but the Walking Wake is still flaming the throwers. So now we're gonna go into Latias on Flamethrower, I mean, there's an Urshifu single strike in the back, and we did not predict the only real switch that made sense. Especially considering that, unless it was like literally only Breloom does anything here. So now we lose our Latias to Choice Scarf Wicked Blow. We go into Ice Shard to use Ice Shard and lose our Ice Sharder because, priority moves aren't very good. So now Zeraora comes in to use Close Combat on the Fairy-type Breloom that comes in as a response. And we know that this is slower even if it is Choice Scarfed. So we probably could have just flipped to Close Combat again. But we go into Corviknight, to counter Breloom by being a Corviknight. And we're going to be able to get off a whole roost because, it was Scarf Breloom and it was locked into Bulldoze. Now we have the Pokemon that should have just clicked Earthquake the whole time in the last battle coming back in to click Earthquake. Urshifu is back. Great. Close Combat is the use. Okay, well that's probably bad. Hammer Arm, spicy. And now all that's left is a Walking Wake, and all of our remaining Pokemon should be able to beat this. Except for maybe Corviknight. But we decided to go into Corviknight. And now Hydro Steam is going to do a more billion damage, and Corviknight's going to die. But luckily for us, our last two Pokemon are both faster, and literally, as long as they have attacks and you click them, you'll be fine. And Bento is going to be able to get Game 2 here. Now we have the finale of this week's recap, Game 3 between these two. Alright, so we've got Weavile versus Breloom. We've already seen that the Breloom is Scarfed, but we still don't realize that this is a speed tie. Well, actually, no. Breloom, if it's Jolly max speed, is just faster. But, outside of Jolly max speed, Breloom, Weavile will be faster. So now we're going to do some switching around. Miss a Fire Blast with Blacephalon because we like to use bad moves that aren't guaranteed accurate, and fail to kill the Mamoswine, lose our Blacephalon as a result, and now we dodge Icicle Crash because there is some justice in the world as we knock out the Mamoswine with a Draco Meteor. Now, I have a question for all of you. Why is this Latias slower than a Rocky Helmet Mamoswine? Do we just not like having Latias kill things? Because, it's got a good speed stat. Usually you want to use advantage of that, especially when it would mean you're faster than the Pokemon that kills you. Anyways, Weavile is going to come in to knock off this Farigiraf. We've already seen this interaction before, so there's really not much to add about it. Breloom's going to come back in. We should have clicked Ice Shard. I don't know why we didn't click Ice Shard here. It was literally free. If we were going to just sacrifice our Weavile, might as well take the chip damage. But I guess we don't like chips. So that's pretty cringe of Bento, not gonna lie. And now we're gonna use Iron Head on a Torkoal, which literally could not care less. Now Swampert comes in, and for whatever reason, we're still on Assault Vest Swampert because clicking Toxic is not something that is a good idea in Bento's mind. Now Earthquake is used. And we just decide to abandon the Swampert idea to go into Corviknight as Bullet Seed is used, which is the correct play because Corviknight takes 11%, fucking 5% after Leftovers recovery, and now we have a switch into Torkoal. Fantastic. Look at this. Look at this good switch. You put in a Fire type against a Steel type. This is more skillful than a lot of the battles we've seen today. Now Swampert's going to come in. Torkoal's sun is gone because, the sun doesn't refresh whenever Torkoal comes in. Now Walking Wake comes back, and we're going to use Earthquake. And this time, Earthquake does damage. In fact, it does a lot of damage. And we kill the Walking Wake after dodging a Draco Meteor. Now Urshifu comes in to blow on us wickedly, and we are going to use Hammer Arm in response to this, to do 69% to the Urshifu, and we lose our Swampert. Very nice. That being said, we have a Corviknight in the back with Brave Bird. We're feeling pretty good. Torkoal is going to be the response to this every single time. Uh-oh, our Swampert is dead. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. But luckily for us, we have U-turn into Latias. Latias can drop a Draco freely here. And, I mean, sure, you could have gone into the Terra Fairy Breloom, but, like, what does that accomplish for you? Then Corviknight just comes back, right? Now, we could have knocked this Urshifu out with another Draco, but for whatever reason, we decided to sacrifice our entire Zeraora to it instead, because we already know that it is Choice Scarfed, but Bento seems to have forgotten. So Corviknight's going to come in now, and promptly die to Wicked Blow. Just kidding, it doesn't die at all, because Corviknight is that bulky. I tricked you. So now Brave Bird's going to knock that out, and we have a half-health Corviknight versus a Breloom that's at 22% and is Terra Fairied. Corviknight is going to get the Brave Bird KO, winning this battle for Bento and ending Week 4. I hope you all enjoyed this Pokemon Draft League recap, and if you are still around, you know, and you're from the Skull Servants video, thank you once again. I appreciate you for hanging out. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next recap whenever it is recorded. Peace.